an argument on connotative meanings. It's false. It's false. All right? So jurisprudence and etymology.
So the entire legal system is set up on a purported meaning, being that it's words of art and not law.
Yes. A lot of words of art. Words of art. They use words of art or connotative meanings. Connotative meanings. So that's so we can, and the connotative meanings change because they're constantly creating connotative meanings over the period of centuries. So the etymology clarifies the issue. Now, I want y'all to keep this in mind. I brought this up a while ago. You have authors who will refer to the denotation as the dictionary meaning. Be careful with that. All right? Denotation. This is the, all right, denotation as the dictionary meaning. This is one of the definitions that authors will use to define denotation as a dictionary meaning. All right. Henry's dictionary, please. Right here. What they're referring to as the dictionary meanings are the entry-level meanings, which is connotations. You see, that's why, and the reason I was able to analyze this, because I know etymology.
But isn't it always about context? Etymology is based on context, so.
Based on?
On context?
Cultural, ancient cultural context. Ancient cultural context. Come on, talk to me. But this is important. This is important. Go ahead. Ask the question again, please.
Okay, so because etymology is the study of the roots.
Start again.
Etymology is the study of the root of a word. So you have to have context,
right,
cultural context, in order to be able to communicate etymologically. And so connotatively, it is typically based on what the social mores are, it's a loaded term. So if a term is loaded, if there are many definitions for a word, then you're more apt to use it connotatively. And it's based on the context of your conversation or your society. And so even going back to etymology, it still is a cultural context. So I don't understand, I just would like clarity as to at what point. Because to me, it just seems that at any time you're having a logical, you're talking about facts, you have to create a context where people are on the same page and that you're defining what the word is and what the usage is at that moment. And it could be etymologically or it can be connotative. It depends on what the two parties are agreeing on the use of the word.
Selah got a hand. Now let Selah attack that, and I'll answer. Let Selah attack it right now. No.
Okay, so when you look at denotation versus connotation, denotation, the word itself means the complete meaning. So therefore it lets you know that the meaning of that word, if you look at it denotatively, which you only can derive from an etymological study, meaning you look at the prefix, the root, the suffix, you trace it back to its origins, you find what the meaning of the word was upon its inception. Then I understand from what you're speaking on, the connotative aspect is that people do not necessarily refer to only the denotative aspect, so thus in various contexts, there's various meanings. And the reality is that all those connotative meanings are not the true meaning of the word, and that while you do look at things in context, if we're talking about law, which is the center of why we've all come together, everything in law is based on denotative. That's the first point. The second point is in connotative meanings of things, those are meanings that have been added or things that have been taken away from the original meaning for a particular purpose. So the whole point in studying is to identify why, what has been hidden from us, based on the connotative meaning. For example, we talked about the word black. We know the connotative meaning, people think it's referring to your skin color. However, if we look at the denotative meaning, we know that it refers to something that's pale. So then that I always say the question is why. Look at the why in between the denotative and the connotative. And that's why it's important to study both so you can see why they changed up the meaning of the word to begin with and how it has placed us in a false paradigm today. And that's my short answer.
No, let me add to that. Selah said for a particular purpose. The purpose, the Europeans, keep in mind that the Europeans were the ones who created the connotative meanings. Why? To steal our birthright. Why? To suppress a culture. Why? To suppress philosophy. Why? To control our minds. All right? This is why we are where we are today. All right? This is why we have the Ferguson situations. All right? To create a false paradigm, to take us outside of the constitutional fold of government, to take us outside of law. Therefore, without affording us any constitutional treaty protection, making us non-descendable. The why is important. Makes us non-descendable. All right? They're putting us in a position where we can't claim our state. Putting us in a position outside the constitutional fold of government, for there's no constitutional treaty protection. That's the why. All right? So it's not to our benefit. I understand where you're coming from. Teachers, when I was studying etymology back in 98, 99, teachers laughed at me. Teachers laughed at me. Mr. Bay, how can you carry on a conversation? I know where you're coming from. All right? That whole context, meaning you're talking about, those meanings were created by the Europeans, though, to steal our birthright. So we're not, the Europeans, occupiers of our land, benefit from that contextual type discussion. They benefit from that.
I don't think I disagree with you. I'm not,
all right.
and
All right, well, then,
yeah, I don't disagree with you.
all right, talk to me.
I guess,
Come on. Mike, this is important. This is important. Because this is the whole heart, what she's talking about. Because we want to make sense of this. All right, we're talking application now. All right, talk to me.
so I don't disagree with you. I guess because I actually teach communication studies and language, we give meaning to language. Language is symbolic. And so we give meaning to it. And so I think with Selah, when she broke it down in terms of legally and by law, and there's a difference, and I think that's the question I was asking in terms of when we communicate from a legal standpoint, for a law standpoint, as opposed to in general conversation. Because culturally and contextually, as a community of Moors, of light people, we have a language. And we have things that were not necessarily created by Europeans, but that we sustain even if we don't understand the etymological root. Would you agree with that? I don't believe that our language and our everything is created by Europeans. I believe that we have created things, even if we are unaware of what the root is, that we have a cultural language.
All right, let me respond to that. Ferguson. I hear what you're saying, but it's not evident. It's not evident in the society, though. We got situations like Ferguson, Black Wall Street. Why those things happen?
Because we don't have similar agreements on the language. So we have language.
All right, why don't we have similar agreement on the language? And speaking to the mic, why don't we have similar agreement on the language? No, this is important. Sister, you're helping all this out. I need this type of dialogue. I need this. Because this will help clarify, a lot of issues. This is the heart of etymology. This is the heart of it.
The way that we communicate is based on the reinforcement in our environment. So we accept certain language, we accept certain words, and we include them in our vocabulary and in our consciousness based on the reinforcement that's around us. So we don't have agreements among us because many of us have grown up and been raised in different environments. And so we haven't had opportunities to communicate with each other, to have agreements on what language we will use. So I think in many, it's just, that's what cultural differences are, is that you have the same things happening, but we call them different things. Whereas you have Santeria, you have the icon, you have, you know, even when we were brought to this country, we kept our gods and goddesses and called them different things. And they're different, but it's the same thing, if that makes any
Yeah, it
sense.
makes sense. I know what you're talking about.
What is lacking is not so much the absence of language, it's the agreement on those terms that we use. And that, so I think we get lost and caught up in fighting on what's right and what's correct instead of understanding what is the same and just an agreement on what those terms are. And I think knowing your etymology is helpful, but etymology is the root. And so it started somewhere, but we've evolved to where we are now. And I think that it's only right. With evolution comes change. And so we need to have language that is appropriate and respective to where we are right now as a people. And those agreements need to happen. That work needs to be done where we have agreements among ourselves on the language, not a discussion on what language to use, but understanding what we have shared among us. And
Selah, she went that, and I'll speak after that. Listen to what she's saying, and we listen to, this is good dialogue. Good.
Well, what you're talking about, it reminds me of something we talked about a couple weeks ago, which was this concept that is promoted by the general semantics movement, which is exactly what you're saying, that because of the ambiguities of language that we have to, before we can even have a dialogue, we have to come to a consensus on what a word means. And I think what he's saying that etymology can do is there is no consensus whether we agree or disagree if there's a word that already has a complete meaning. And that it's not to say that throw out all connotative meanings, but how can you understand something connotatively and try to determine context when you don't have the base, when you don't have the root meaning? And so it's like I teach reading I teach developmental reading at Prince George's Community College. So I'm teaching reading skills that I would teach to probably, late elementary, but they're about 18 and older. And so we teach context clues. And in the book, context clues comes before word parts. And I never teach it that way because context clues just has you guessing at what a word can mean based on what's around the word. But that doesn't necessarily give them the correct meaning, as opposed to once they first identify the word parts and then they give me the derivative meaning of the word, and then they can tell me its contextual meaning as well. So first I would start with etymology, then build the context or the connotative meanings. However, I don't think we teach it that way in the society, and that's part of the problem. We're not teaching the keys of vocabulary study, Islam.
Give it a mic, please. This is good. Let it go. Just let it go. Give it. Hold on, sister. Do the mic. All right, go ahead.
like the word, if we look etymologically at the word nice,
Okay.
we know what that was originally, what that meant. Stupid.
Stupid. Yes.
Stupid.
Yes. Go ahead.
And currently, when we speak of something being nice, what do we mean?
Pleasant. Pleasant.
Stupid.
Good. Right.
Pleasant.
Kind. Pleasant. Yes. Yes. Go
Only
ahead.
rarely do we think stupid, but
Right,
we
of
think
course,
pleasant,
of course.
something is positive. It's more of a positive connotation.
Right.
And so everything, I do not disagree with you, and I work at PG, by the way, so we need to hook up. But,
There we go.
but
There we go.
then the example that you gave is very similar to this episode of Good Times where Michael had to take a test, and they were talking about the cultural test. Do you all know what episode I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
And
I
because one of
seen
the
that like 3 or
questions
4
was
times.
about cup and saucer, and I was like, what? Because his family did not use a saucer with their teacup, and so the context wasn't relevant to his family, to his culture, and so it wasn't something that he was going to most likely succeed in. And so that's what I got from your example with teaching reading and teaching context. It has to be culturally based. And so I say that because I think we are saying the same thing. I'm not disagreeing with you. When I talk about culture, I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about culture as a people, because we are not a monolith. And that's what I was speaking of when we talk about the language, because we are not a monolith, but we have things that we have all shared, but we call them different things. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not disagreeing.
All right. Right here. All right.
The reason why I am very grateful for this class is for that very reason. If we all learn what the denotative meaning, the etymon of words mean, we will be unified, and that we'll understand the true, what we truly mean, who we truly are, how we truly stand in this society. Without understanding the etymon of the word, we have had our birthright stolen, our heritage stolen, our humanity stolen. The land, the very land that is our ancestral land that we're standing on, we have had that taken away from us, and the knowledge pulled out of our brains simply because we had no idea that status in the state.
A beautiful, very, very beautiful session.
Yes. Oh,
Now,
I love it.
But I would suggest to all women to recognize how mind control works. Now, etymology is to language what different elements are in chemistry. And I guarantee you, the same people that keep trying to justify avoiding the etymon would dare not mix chemicals on that same principle, nor medicines that they would give to their children. Yet they would justify mixing the corrupted medicine of knowledge via words, which preserves culture, and then call the death of culture, culture. Yes. Now, and because it comes from people who have what you'll call degrees or respect in the community, people start listening or accepting their oratory skills and not paying attention to, that they're poisoning you right to your face. Because this is the deal. And just like Sister Selah was just saying, when you look at it, when you teach children to connotative, because it's really justification of connotative linguistics, that what that really guarantees is that people will never be unified. That's what its real purpose is. Because keep in mind the major purpose of them committing schismata. And schismata is a military term that the people know as divide and conquer. And that is the deliberated introduction of connotative linguistics and the suppression of orthology,
We'll make an announcement.
grammatication, etymology, period. Now, and in support of that, because these same types of arguments, which, they seem logical because people always make them.
Right, because we can't read
Is in
the language.
10.
So it's important to get back to the roots so we can kind of walk back the things that are plaguing us to recreate.
Introduce it back.
I'm willing to help you distribute that stuff. When we're ready.
One of the major reasons why our children can't compete right today is because we keep following behind those European linguists who will promote that paradigm in our communities, but they do not promote it in their own. In their own communities, this is why we issued that 8th grade test for that little girl in Kansas City from 1895 or 96, and we published it just to prove this very same argument. In the 8th grade, they learn orthology, geometry, mathematics, and they're given minutes to deal with it. And even the 8th grade little girls, they said, you know, in relation to even calling our people Indians, they say, we call them Indians, but we know they're not. And then you see our people now calling themselves Indians, thinking they're going to get some kind of sovereign power. Because the Europeans know North America is not India. They knew they was trying to take over the spice traders of the Moors, getting to Madagascar and Hindustan. And it ain't no such thing as Indians, just like it's no such thing as black. And they teach their children that it's a fiction. And here we are, 2014, still debating non-debatable issues because we can't damn read. And keep trying to justify it because Europeans say so with their linguistic fallacies.
Anybody else? Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right, who's after him? This is good. This is what makes the class.
Each one teach one is
That's right.
one of our main perspectives. For me, you know, for our culture that don't know what we already know, we have to find ways to relate it back to them. For instance, I work in the barbershop, so if a guy say, man, you a bad man. Nah, I'm not bad. Now, she's bad, I'm not bad. You know, because ain't nothing feminine about me. You know, so this is how I would relate it. You know, you say, oh, man, you such a nice guy. Nah, I'm not nice. You know, nice means stupid, you know. So this is how we had to teach the people that don't know the language, and then after they come in contact with you enough, they start to adapt the language and start utilizing it and use it for their own benefits.
Once you start making the challenge, they will change.
They will, right here? Yeah, that's true. Right here? We got it.
Islam. I just wanted to touch on something that Taj had just brought up, the word Indian. And specifically for the Washington, D.C. area, because Dan Snyder and his team, you know, it just rubs me raw when I hear different personalities on TV, news, whatever, talking about, you know, Dan Snyder needs to change this name. And, you know, to me, it's just to keep the lie going. And everyone should be out there telling people, hey, you know, leave that name alone. Because it's a cover-up for what's really going on. So with this big name, or them wanting to change the name, and then what's going on in Ferguson, and then all over the planet, we have to step back and realize that, hey, the time is at hand. We need to, like you say, each one teach one. Go out here and tell these people who are, you know, hey, you know, Redskins got to do this or whatever. No, man, it's a bunch of bull crap. And you know, and that etymology and what the true meaning of words really are in the legal system, you know, we all need to know that, you know. So you know, that's all I've got to say. It's just, you know, it's crazy.
Right here.
It's strategy. When we call them crazy, we've excused them. Yes. It's not genocide. Everywhere around the world except us. We keep calling
I agree.
racism and crazy.
I agree.
What the entire rest of the civilized
I agree with
world
that.
calls genocide.
All right. Now, go ahead, brother. Good job. All right, good point.
Well, one thing to keep in mind when communicating, she said, is the context being used. But another thing that is important is also the audience who you're talking to. When in a legal setting, like the brother was saying, when using legalese, the denotative meaning is implied. So to have the knowledge of that within that setting is probably invaluable. You know.
No doubt. No doubt. Anyone else? Got back here?
Can I jump
Go ahead.
in?
Oh, yeah, of course. Hey, please.
And I just want to veg you back on everything that's been said here. And I think we need to also remember that as Moors, we are metaphysicists and magicians as well. So although you have legal power with your words, you have spiritual power also with sound.
No doubt.
And so when you know the meaning of the word and what you pronounce from your goddess degree, you can really affect change. So knowing what those words are and how to use your sound the way it's supposed to have been used, that's also what we need to understand about ourselves. So that's all I got to add.
Make it. Right here. All right.
Okay. I'm not going to say I'm confused. I'm feeling a little bit indifferent. I love the class. I love the way everyone teaches. I love this Moorish movement, or being a Moor, being included in Moor. I'm all for it. I've changed my name.
Corrected your name.
Excuse me for correcting me. I've corrected my name to my Moorish name, and I'm adapting to all these new situations. But now I'm finding out that I have to learn, go back to my dictionary, start from the beginning, so I can learn how to speak and use the etymology meaning. I'm not quite 65 yet, but I'm pushing there, and that's a task. I just want to know the quick way of how to use my birthright and use it wisely. Time might be limited, but I'm hoping I live to be 150 or 200 as long as I keep eating my greens, chickpeas.
Gotta eat mine.
I want a quick fix. I want to do this thing. I can't keep going back and forth.
Well, I don't know about quick fix, sister. We gotta keep doing what we're doing.
But I
know.
want to keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. But if we're going to do it, I want to learn the right way. I like the first teachings when we learned, and my man, Taj was my man, Taj.
She forgot your name for 3 seconds.
See,
but,
I had etymology in my mind.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
The first teachings we came, and you told us where we came from and what we did and what the Caucasian, but I'm the white man. I keep telling everybody I'm white. They think I'm crazy. But I say, I am white. What are you? You're white too. I say, look at that. So I'm teaching. I'm teaching people these things. I'm trying to understand it. But now, before I can teach anybody, I have to go and look up every word in the dictionary. Come on now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to discourage you from doing it.
I want to know, is there any other way? I just have to.
I ain't going to discourage you from doing it. Man. That's right.
We start learning what words mean so that at least we know what we're talking about.
Okay, so when
I agree with that.
When someone asks me, what are you talking about? I have to break it down. Look, get a dictionary. I have my pocket one right here. Look at the etymology meaning. Man, you don't know nothing. You talk wrong.
That's how you doing it. You doing it. You doing it.
So I have to break it down
That's how
like
you do
that.
it. Man, you know. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. That's how it's done.
Islam, and also,
You know?
Queen, also, think about this. It took 200 years for them to do all this collectively to us, okay? So I've been on this journey for, I started off with the Bible, read that through and from cover to cover two times, all right?
Yeah.
And then, maybe 8 years ago, okay, I was listening to Brother Taj, and I jumped in with both feet, okay? So basically what has happened to me is...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So basically what happened with me is that my mindset is, you know what?
I didn't know what
I'm getting to the point whereas I'm going to be speaking it. It's going to be coming out of my pores. See what I mean? So last week, I run into this guy at the gas station. He's talking about Obama this, Obama that, and he's doing this, but the Constitution. I'm like, hold on. Didn't your ancestors sign a contract that allowed you to do business here? Didn't your ancestors revoke the contracts of going back on it? And basically, as soon as they went against the Constitution, they should have been out of here. See? Because the Constitution is a contract. It's just that they hid the individuals, or excuse me, the people or the nation they had the contract with. But you see what I'm saying? That's the knowledge that we need to not only be spewing to our family, but also if a European comes up to us, well, your people are doing it. Well, hold on. Time out. What did your people do to us? You see what I mean? We have to be able to defend our position not as individuals, but as a people, okay? So the point I'm trying to make to you is that we need to be in it to win it, okay? Brother over here said, reach one, teach one. It took them 200 years to get us here collectively in a position that we're in, but individually, to get us back to where we were individually, it's going to be faster. So don't worry about how old you are. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to be all right.
Islam. Sister Set has something to say, and I got you too, brother, after her.
Islam family, it is so good to see everybody, people I haven't seen, people I've been seeing, people I've been talking to on the phone. Really quick, because I miss that to my, I love you too. It's okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. It's so good to see you. And I'm so happy to see everybody. I'm so excited. I really am. I know the universe brought me out for a reason tonight because I'm listening and I'm like, I miss this. I miss the energy. I miss all of this. But real quick, I want to give you a message that there's a newspaper out and that the name of the paper is called Al Moroccan Star Returns. And once... Yeah. We get ready to get busy in our area. We're going to have people stop talking about the Maryland territory is tired, okay? We get ready to step our game up. The sisters, we get ready to work together. So what? If we can't, we're going to do it anyway because we are needed. We got to work together. We have to, as women, do our part and use our energy to uplift. We have to. And the brothers, y'all might as well accept the fact that our divine energy is here because they ain't going nowhere, okay? At one time, the newspaper was called the Al Moroccan Star. The paper is for the upliftment of fallen humanity. It features an international message. It was first published this past September and will be published on a quarterly basis. Mm-hmm. The cover story is the notice, and to a lot of people I've been talking to, I keep talking about this notice. It's powerful. When I tell you it's powerful, you have to read it. I have to get it to it's powerful. It's something you can use to study for your own situations, court-wise, a whole lot of things. It's a powerful notice that's been filed in all the states in the United States on behalf of the Moors.
Nothing. I'm
already. The cover story is the notice itself in the last issue, and it was a reproclamation of the proclamation that Prophet Noble Drew Ali put on file during his time here. Okay, the publisher of the paper is the Moorish Nation, the Moorish Science Temple of America Divine and National Movement. The publisher is Grand Sheikh Astoria Bey. Taj Tarik Bey is the National Grand Sheikh. And the Moorish Nation is headquartered in Garrisonville, Virginia. There's an opportunity with the paper right now for writers. We need stories. And with all the people that are here, you know, we have stories. We know that we do. We also want to put people's businesses in the paper because we should be going to each other for business. Enough of us have businesses where we shouldn't have to keep going to different nationalities. We are talented enough in this community where we need to network properly. We need to make sure that no one's going to court by themselves. We shouldn't even be in court. But if we have to go, we definitely should not be going by ourselves with all of the Moors that are here. That shows how weak we are when we walk into the courtroom and there's one Moor in there by themselves because we think that, okay, well, in our situation, why should I go? If you don't help your brothers and sisters, then don't expect people to be there for you either, okay? Okay, so the cover story for the first edition was the notice, and the notice is excerpts from the proclamation that Grand Sheikh Astoria Bey put on file in Cook County in Chicago. You've got to see this notice. When I tell you it's powerful, it's powerful. Thank you, brother. Okay, and so she did this in the footprints of Noble Drew Ali to formally notice the existence of our own Moorish nation. The next edition of the paper is scheduled for January 2015. The cover story will be the International Year of the Child. We will promote Moorish nationality by asking the question, what is the nationality of your child? And how does that help you secure their rights? We do accept 2 Federal Reserve notes for the contribution of the paper. If you would like to order the paper as a group, a bundle of 100 papers is $60 plus $20 for the shipping. The paper is 60 cents per paper, and they resell again at $2, Federal Reserve notes. The paper is 12 pages. There's color throughout, so it's not anything tacky. Brother, wake up. It's nothing tacky. It's very attractive, you know, so as Moors, we have to make sure we put out quality work. Even when we're doing work for people, we got to make sure that it's the best. We can't just put out sloppy stuff. This is a quality paper, and we all need to be a part of it. We need to get busy and become active. It's great that we're coming to the classes, but it's time for us to step our game up because there's a lot going on right now, and we have to stick together right now and be active about what we're doing. Just 1 second. 1 second. The paper is also seeking writers, as I said. I heard two sisters that go to Prince George's Community College. We need you because you're working amongst the youth at the college, and it's a lot of things that's attack right now on the youth. So we need to make sure that we're writing about what's happening. The current edition has a story on Michael Brown, how the nation of Iran has spoken against America's violation of human rights, against what they consider to be the black community here in America. There's also an article in the paper about the dangers of fluoride, the benefits of colon cleansing, and there's a notice of a petition to get the Supreme Court justice removed who turned against the Constitution by voting to convert the Bill of Rights into privileges. Okay? So, and Taj, the paper was sent to you. You should have it Wednesday. So Tuesday at the next meeting, hopefully Taj can bring it. This is the notice. It's not very thick, but it's thick enough because everything that has to do with us as Moors is covered in this notice. You can pass it around and, and look at it. But if anybody is interested in writing articles for the paper, that's due December 25th. Just either see my brother or see me or see Taj, and we can get that in. I just submitted a paper yesterday for the paper, and it's called Ferguson in Prince George's County, Remembering Terrence Johnson. I don't know if everybody remembers this brother. I'll never forget him. So this article will be in there. In addition to that, I don't know if everybody remembers the case with my son, who was 15 at the time and handcuffed. Actually, it was on the news a couple of weeks ago where the two juveniles were, one at Sutton High School and the other one they said was handcuffed and the cops beat him up. That was my son. And so I'm working diligently on that. The cop was indicted. And so we're working on that. I do need the support because I know that there's other Ferguson youth out here, and that's what my focus is, on the youth. So if anyone wants to assist with that, then please see me.
Islam, fam. How's everybody doing? All right, Islam. I have a event coming up on January the 17th in 2015. It's titled King's Dream Deferred, Color Scheme, and Law and Culture. And Brother Taj, Selah, and Abdullah will be the lecturers. So, you know, this has been it was a vision of mine, you know, to have, like last year, to have this happen. So it's come to manifest. So I just like to thank Taj and Selah and Abdullah to come through for this. You know.
Awesome.
Hope everybody, I have tickets, I also have tickets, you know, donations of 15 for it. If you'd like to get them today, you can, you know. Thank you.
Islam. Yeah, man, we need to support each other on this one, man. We trying to put Northern Virginia on the map. You know, we need to join hands, man, join forces. I hope to see a lot of y'all out there, man. Support. All right, one love. Islam.
Islam, everyone, how are you this evening? Islam, this is, yeah, I got one. This is awesome. I'm really excited about this. So hope to see you all there and hope that you all bring somebody too, because just sitting here and hearing the dialogue and being in the midst of the dialogue that just took place it's quite evident that you all have been learning by coming to the class, by studying on your own, just the feedback that has been given, just by the question that you sparked. Do you see how so many people were ready to chime in? And then that's a reflection of the fact that you guys have been studying and that coming to the classes, you've been gaining knowledge. So just imagine if you could bring somebody to the class or to the lecture and you know, in 3 months' time, they're in a similar place to where you are, if not further, just because of the vigor that they may have, right? So I just say that to say, spread the word about the lecture, about the class. You know, it's not just for us individually, but it's for us as a community. So I want to start there. Check, I'm good. All right. I should have brought my stuff to that side next time. No, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's okay. I'll be slight. Okay, so I want to kind of do a brief review and then pick up from where we left off. So as you know, we've been looking at etymology, in particular looking at the root meanings of words. And first, for example, we looked at the word, this is just an example, if we had factory, and I'd say, what is the root of the word factory? And you'd say, who remembers? That was from the beginning, I know. So, someone said it. Fact is correct. Which means to make or to do. We also identified that this word, fiction, its root is the same, has the same meaning, to make or to do. So therefore, we know the roots, F-I-C, F-A-C, F-I-C-T, F-A-C-T, and also as a suffix, F-Y. For example, we did this one, calcify. Means to make something into calcium. If I say rectify, to make something straight. So all of these are roots with the same meaning. This being actually a suffix. It's acting as a suffix. However, if we also talked about what we call the Proto-Indo-European root. Can anybody tell me what I mean when I refer to the Indo-European root, just to see if anyone recalls? If not, I will take the time to go over it. Indo-European. When I say Indo-European roots, what do I refer to? Correct. It is the family of language. And so Indo-European is one family of languages, just like Semitic is another family of languages. And from Indo-European, it's broken down even further into, we have Hellenic, we have Italic, we have Germanic, et cetera, et cetera. We have Indo-Iranian. I'll put that one up there. And from there, from Hellenic, which is a subfamily of Indo-European, we get Greek. From Italic, we get Latin. And from Latin languages, we get, we get Latin-based languages or Romance languages such as Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, French, etc. Germanic, that's where we get English. In addition to German, which is a different language from the family Germanic. So this is just a review. Indo-Iranian, that's where we get Sanskrit. That's where we get Urdu. That's where we get languages that are spoken where? Where? No, No. Here's a hint. Well, what is called India, what is Hindustan, what we refer to as India today, which is really Hindustan. So this is that one, that's the part of the Indo-European families. This is the languages, you know, Sanskrit, Urdu, Punjabi, etc., showing that there's a relationship between Punjabi and English. Okay, that's a review. So all of your roots that we see in English words can be traced through these family of languages back to one Indo-European root. For fic, fact, and fy, it is D-H-E.